Anar, I am so happy to have you today on the program. You are technical co-founder at Senpex, is that right?
Correct. Nice,
All right.
nice to see you, Joseph. Yeah.
No, it's great to have you here. I'm really looking forward to this conversation. There's a lot to unpack and think through and talk about, both like tangibly in terms of what you're working on, but also maybe we'll get a little philosophical when we start talking about the last mile of supply chain and logistics, especially as it now touches a little bit of AI. But first and foremost, let's kind of unpack your background. What led you in the direction of Senpex? But what were the early years like, and how did you get involved with this?
Yeah. So thank you just again having me, Joseph. Nice to meet you. So it's just very brief about me. So I'm actually have 18 years experience overall, like in the software development field. Implemented a bunch of the different technology solutions in the Europe and also in the here in the US. And then a while back, like 5 years ago, I live actually before in the DC, and then I moved to San Francisco Bay Area to having dreamed to establish my own business, my own startup business, and specifically in the industry, I see there is a huge gap that's actually in the logistics and supply chain. And by we start building this platform as Sempex, we right now is a last mile logistic platform helping the businesses like the e-commerces, different marketplaces, retail businesses, wholesales like manufacturers, etc., to help them automate and grow and scale their last mile logistic process. Basically, that's what we're doing. So we have like deliver as a service as solutions and also software as a service products that we're offering to all our clients. And they come pretty much right now within a 5 years already established. We actually recently launched a kind of short press release about this, but within 3 months, actually, with company moved from 10 states to 38 states as a company, including Hawaii, Honolulu. It's pretty much a great chance. So we have right now more than 50,000 drivers, and actually big brands like the big retail businesses, they use our service on daily basis and our technology and our service mainly specifically. But this is all about like in very brief, so we can go in depth about the details. But yeah, this is the brief about it, about me and the company itself.
Oh, fantastic. No, I appreciate that overview. So maybe more tangibly, what would be like a use case for a company that would use or leverage your services, and how would they interact with the application?
Yeah, yeah. Thanks for the great question. So basically, our main target clients are, so for example, like food industries, um, the health institutions, different corporate customers. But let's just take one example. For example, e-commerce marketplace. Like one of them is actually Easy Cater. It's actually a catering marketplace. Their core business are like selling the catering foods to their clients, right? So it's a kind of big marketplace. They're in all US, and they looking for the partners like us to integrate our API, connect with them, and fulfill their last mile delivery process. Let's say it can be like cake stores or like fish production companies, like any special sushi product, whatever the special production companies we have, the retail businesses or wholesale businesses, they can utilize our service to help them to automate their last mile logistic process. This is one. And the second, one of the huge demands that we do right now, we are helping them to integrate our API. So what that means is kind of small piece of code. It plug into their core system that to help them all in one kind of have their platform with have an option to automate their last mile logistic process. So basically, that's what we're doing right now as a company. Yeah, and then we have a bunch of different like the hospitals, health institutions. They use us our software products. We have a bunch of different dealerships like Mazda, Kia, Fremont Mazda, Kia, Stevens, Jeep, Dodge, Subaru, and the different like brands. They use our technology on the way of automating their parts delivery process, to the delivering to their customers, etc. So we have a kind of different verticals, which is we're helping those type of businesses who need local last mile delivery process. That means like final mile delivery, right? So it goes from warehouse or from their stores, goes to their end consumer.
Fantastic. You had me at cakes and sushi, and and of
Yeah.
course APIs. Love APIs. They're the lifeblood of all businesses these days. Trying to make things a little more integrated, which is fantastic to see. So, one quick follow up on that. I've seen in the various cities in the U.S. that I've traveled around something called KiwiBot. These are delivery service bots that you see rolling around the streets. Do you have any integration with that sort of thing, or is that just a one off?
Oh yeah, yeah. So we actually working with one of the similar kind of it's kind of a bit under NDA, but yeah. So this type of kiosks specifically are our one of the priorities we have. So we have integration with this type of point of sales terminals as well to make that things done. Yeah, we have like special pilots right now, but we started this pilot mainly in San Francisco Bay Area first, and then we can planning to grow this. And we also see a lot of future be honest like in the electric vehicles like autonomous vehicles industry where we right now very aggressively building all our products on the way of like how to integrate our API with autonomous vehicles. Like there's a couple of the brands, like well-known brands, they're in the same in that industry, and they also want to pivot and do the deliveries, right? And we're right now challenging these type of things. But kiosk and like autonomous vehicle industry is one of our main challenges, and the main integration process is happening right now.
No, it is amazing to see. So these little rolling bots with four wheels that are delivering food, more than likely around towns. I see them just wandering the streets, trying to navigate people, individuals, businesses, all dogs, all sorts of stuff, and they're working pretty well. But I wasn't sure if there was an integration. Sounds like that's probably coming. So speaking to the autonomous vehicles, since you brought that up, I'm maybe let's take a step back and look at the bigger picture for now. And I know you being in the hotbed of autonomous vehicles, at least the United States, and we can go outside of the US in just a bit. But where are we with autonomous vehicles? You can apply it to that last mile of delivery or towards car service that people may want, ride share, that sort of thing. But where are we right now in that respect? I mean, are they functional? Are they working for people? I know there's been several incidents that always make headlines, but that doesn't mean that the main thrust of this is not going to work. Where do you sit on all of this?
Well, I mean, I will tell you, like initially, this is actually the beginning. So there's a problems and challenges, and some of those problems and challenges are like the mainly like how to make sure like even the businesses go outside, put inside of the vehicles, or what's the challenges, for example, if if our like vehicles is delivering, but there's no one at home, so what to do with the product? So there's no kind of arms or something grabbing the product, putting inside. This type of small challenges like it started and it's aggressively all the big brands like I know for example the cruise is doing a lot of things right now about that, and specific even in San Francisco itself and the city there's some already given the permission by the government and entities to do that, and a couple of the companies I know in Texas they're just doing it, and also in the Europe they're pretty much actively doing that. In my opinion, like within like 1 or 2 years that industry will dramatically will grow. This is the one, and most of the logistic companies because of like at the end of the day whatever like automation you can do you're working with the humans, and it's created a bit kind of challenge to be honest, like legality issue things there are, so like a big kind of personality things etc which has hurt the customer service etc. Overall that industry will grow. Still there's a pilots happening. We're also doing a couple of the pilots right now. We're just integrating how to make sure like this autonomous vehicles is one of our drivers, so how to give them the job, how them to just need to understand like what's exact pickup location, what's exact drop location, how the big is the size of the boxes, like it will fit to the what type of vehicles, because it cannot fit as like regular vehicles, right? If the size of the boxes, there's a lot of challenges we're just right now working with, but my hope is pretty much like uh, positive in my opinion that industry will grow very aggressively within a 1 year 2 years. Those autonomous vehicle things will be dramatically will grow and improve.
Amazing. So I think you kind of identified it, but maybe the way that I sort of think about this is like there's three primary pieces to the acceptance of this and moving forward. One is technology, which it sounds like you're heavily involved with. Then there's almost like a social acceptance of people and what they
Yeah,
think about these vehicles and how they interact with them. And are they afraid of them and they think that it's going to take away jobs, or are they afraid of being in them, or whatever the case is? And then there's the legal aspect.
yeah.
Um, do you feel like one is leading the way over the other, or do you think it's all just sort of a confluence of the three?
Well, like it depends on the first of all on the states and the legal aspects of that. But overall, it's going well in some of those states, like including, let's say, in the California, right? This type of permissions. So, like as a pilot, is a great place to start with. But coming back to the to your question, it can be done at the same time. Those three main points. The most important things is like the customer's acceptance of this type of services. One. And for example, we right now working, we're brainstorming and aggressively thinking about that, how to train and explain our clients who's actually using our service, like to switch to autonomous things because they get to used to like the regular driver will come, grab their boxes and deliver that. We're thinking about a special strategy, like giving a special discounted price. For example, if the customer paying $50, so definitely if that will be delivered through autonomous vehicles, like 50% off or something like that. So that will give a more chance to client kind of play around with peoples to addict to the new things. This is very important piece and addiction of the new things. And it's really takes a lot of time and efforts, energy, and challenges overall as an experience. But hopefully, as a pilot, we're planning to start with a small retail businesses like cake stores and just deliver density within, let's say, 5 or 10 miles the max, only like within a San Francisco right now. That's actually what we're doing it. Or maybe we'll pick up like Texas, Houston, Texas, one of like areas, a small density, and start doing that. But it will take some time because there's even you will build a system, there's an addiction and how to say like implementation of things, and people start to use that. It takes some time. You need to change, pivot, do a bit differently.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense. So when we think about the sort of the overall efficiency in that last mile, there's a lot of things that I think are playing into that. One is sort of the cost of labor and insurance and benefits for the businesses. What are your thoughts in that realm?
Yeah. So in the last mile industry overall is pretty much pricey, right? As I already mentioned before as well. So like if you're comparing with the other type of the freight and logistic industries like middle mile, like final mile is actually pretty much crazy with the pricing things. There's a lot of things that need to be done properly to make sure that get the best service to the clients, get the best prices, and deliver with a short period of time. So first of all, the one of the challenges are like how to efficiently optimize the route to make sure like how one driver can fulfill, let's say, 50 stops within a 2 hours time windows with with the more stops and finish as soon as possible. So that require a lot of special optimization tools. We start building during like COVID time a while back in 2018. We have especially unique products and kind of technology behind of that. Like we start doing the really special project with Stanford Medicine. So like during the COVID time, we did a lot of kind of like COVID samples need to be picked up from 1,000 stops, and it needs to be delivered in their 2 3 hours time windows because the special products need to be picked up and delivered. We cannot keep it. So this type of optimization things in the last mile is pretty much improving. Second thing, in my opinion, to scale and grow any of the type of the businesses, you need to have a bit much more in the last mile industry, like insights and data analytic dashboards. So you need to see the performance, like how the driver is doing it, what's their metrics, they're doing bad or good, etc. Like overall as a company, and you need to implement a special performance metrics for all of you. So these are the second kind of things, important things in the last mile. You need to do it, and end of the day, you need to make sure like you're providing the best customer service, because we have the customers who is kind of regularly on monthly basis use our service, like B2B retail, like grocery stores, like food industries, etc. They need like kind of they much more care about the service they're providing them. This is the key three main points in my opinion, and then definitely like fourth piece is like integration piece. Like they want to make sure that they have an e-commerce, but the e-commerce either like in Shopify, WooCommerce, or like custom built e-commerce, they need to get some integration of the API with their system. So this is actually what we're doing. And with that said, the more things, if you as a business you're doing this right as a retail business, you have an option to scale and grow your business because we're helping actual businesses to scale and grow. Like we have this type of use case right now, like one store that started in San Francisco as an example, as a pilot, they like it. So initially they want to go and expand their service, let's say in the Vegas, right? They're opening the store and they're looking for like local drivers who actually come and do it, deliver for them. And now even the tendency goes to the dark kitchens or dark warehouses, by the way. So what that means, there's no front store, basically they're just renting some space, and we're actually working with a lot of different dark kitchen and dark warehouses companies as well. So they're just simply going and renting the space. They're hiring like one or two employees. Basically, they're preparing whatever they want to do it, or cooking, or cakes, etc. And local drivers come to that location, pick it up, and deliver locally to that location. That's a perfect scaling concept for any type of restaurants, any type of retail businesses like wholesales, etc.
It's funny, I've seen a lot more of that discussed with like the Grubhubs, the delivery services on that side, where people think that it's coming from a restaurant per se,
Yeah.
but those organizations are building their own dark warehouses where they're producing these things, and then the delivery is being dispatched to whoever wanted that order, um, which definitely has some other implications that we won't get into. But it's just interesting to see how these models are really being fleshed out. Um, so no, thank you for sharing that part of it. Here's a small tangent, but just kind of get your impression because it sounds like your applications would definitely fit into this world once it was legalized, so to speak. But when, how far out are we from actually seeing more drone deliveries?
Well, I mean, I have participated in a couple of technical meetings on Stanford regarding this drone delivery concept, and because I'm pretty much interested in that direction as well. In my opinion, we still need like time for this. Like,
Yeah.
it's pretty much too early. Like at least 5 or 10 years. And
Okay.
there's a lot of challenges. Again, there's a legal piece of that that's pretty much crazy right now in the US. And the second like security piece of that. Like those drones can fly and just fell down to someone else if there's no battery inside. So like it's a creative kind of, and then there's another things like in the huge buildings, there's a like a lot of security risks behind of that. So those drones can enter to someone else's window, right? Or whatever. So anything can be happening in my opinion. So still there's a things is going on. There's a lot of companies actually doing a lot of pilots, but it also depends on the areas. Like if you're talking about the areas where like high population, like density, like in downtowns, etc., with a lot of buildings. So how to land those drones inside of let's say third of 15th floor in the one of the hugest building, right? So we actually came before with kind of interesting idea, special landing devices you can put outside of your window. Those drones can land it there. But this is one of the things that how you can do it. Um, so still it's going, and in my opinion, we need time, at least 5 or 6 years. But beside this, we have a lot of right now things is happening like in the ground deliveries, etc., which is makes sense. It's kind of reasonable. People get to used to that. But electric vehicle concepts are much more, in my opinion, closer to reality comparing with the drone deliveries. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think, I mean, you obviously know you're the expert in this space, but based on the research and the work that I've done, the drone piece, yes, we're definitely far out because you're talking about building an infrastructure, but not really well, partly infrastructure, but above all the roads, maybe 1,000 meters, or maybe not 1,000 meters, but like 100 meters to 500 meters high. That would be the space which those drones would be in. And you're right, like having a platform outside of your balcony if you're in a highly dense city.
Yeah.
Obviously, if you're in the middle of nowhere, that's a little bit easier. You could have your own platform there, but clearly the direction forward is going to be the electric vehicles or whatever the case is, these other bots that will hopefully get out there. All right, one last question, and I'll sort of turn it over to you if there's anything else that you want to cover. in your space, and that is maybe a different take. And if you don't have any opinions on this, totally fine, but I just want to throw it out there. Have you explored more of a decentralized version of a dispatcher service that would leverage your algorithms, your APIs, but that it would be a little more decentralized? So I think about like, I know you don't do Uber per se, but Uber or Lyft, where you wouldn't necessarily have a centralized company that would deal with it. It would be the people that wanted to, maybe it was a mom and pop shop that wanted to send food out or do other deliveries, but they would be more participatory of what they were selling. The revenue share would be higher and all that sort of thing. Does that make sense in terms of creating a more decentralized version of a dispatcher service?
Well, any type of marketplaces like us. So what that means, like we do have like the clients or retail businesses and also like the drivers specific in those areas. Our main goal is like give the chance fair, first of all, fair the price and just make the people make the money, right? So like specific in the gig economy things world, this is the most of the businesses' dreams that they grow and aggressive because with this type of approach, you can scale, you can grow your business. That's 100%. But coming back to like decentralized approach, I'm trying to understand the way of like a question. But so right now we have like the main platform, like it somewhere stores, let's say one of our servers, right? Servers, let's say in the US, right? And we have an app and a website where any people, any retail business, have a chance to use the service, request the deliveries and choose whatever the drivers they want to choose and assign those drivers they prefer to use and just keep using the service because with the marketplaces overall their usual approach is kind of decentralized approach. Their goal is like local people, let's say in Nevada or Reno, Nevada, for example, they want to just request the deliveries and then local people there just work for that and just cover those deliveries. If you have, let's say in the Florida, the clients, they need like utilize the local people there, right? And utilizing our marketplace as they can request it and local drivers can do it. In some way it's kind of decentralized. Yes, so all those data takes us in our backend. We do a lot of kind of analytical dashboards, and those information is passing to those retail businesses to see the performance, see the delivery experience on overall. But in my opinion, the approach that the most of the marketplaces are doing are kind of decentralized approach.
You answered that with such a plum, and I appreciate that. It's been a long day. I've done a lot of calls, so therefore it didn't come out as cleanly as I would have liked. But in essence, what you described is exactly what I was looking for. It's this idea of a decentralized, autonomous organization that was leveraging your APIs and your systems such that ultimately when someone's delivering something, the person that has it being delivered is making more of the revenue share. So you could actually hypothetically create a decentralized autonomous organization around Uber or Lyft or any other service, but in a way that there is more sharing. But what you described is makes perfect sense to me.
And
All right.
specifically, one of the key and core factor of the decentralized approach, how to make sure like it's supposed to be like fair price, and how to make sure like the companies should not dictate the price. Because
Yes.
like yeah, so there's like four or five different companies, and they're basically they're playing, how kind of checking each other prices, increasing, decreasing the price to get more clients. This is actually in the most of the businesses something like happening, and that's normal process. But with a decentralized approach, the core factor is like, what's a fair price? So, for example, I'm the client, I need to use the service, how much I can offer, and out of whatever how much I'm offering, can I find the right person who can actually do it? Because if those drivers is out of in our control and we're dictating the price and all that, it's create a bit kind of unfair approach, right? Because again, we're dictating this is how much the price will be. Do you want to pay or not? But maybe the customer cannot afford that. So this is the key concept of decentralized approach because I've seen it multiple times. I don't want to give the company names, but I've seen a lot of companies even they they're helping the businesses to create an order, schedule the delivery, for example, right? But sometimes they're even not displaying, showing to the driver the drop of address. and they're saying, like, this is how much you will get it. And then whenever you will accept this job in the system on the app as a driver, you will see the drop of address. It can be potentially too far that you don't want to do it. And it's not fair price according whatever you need to deliver or whatever you need to drive, right? So like decentralized approach, as I already mentioned, like fair price and open list. Like you need to see as a driver initial now system, like what's the exact pickup location, drop location, how much we're paying, the size. So you need to give in advance all the details and give them the chance for the person think about to do it or not to do it, or give his fair price, you know.
Perfect. No, excellent. Thank you. All right. Anar, anything else that you wanted to mention about the company or the business?
Well, I mean, overall, no, but we actually company right now, as you mentioned, we pretty much aggressively growing, doing our best to expand our location-wise. We're thinking about expand to the Canada, to the Europe in the future, like the next year. But yeah, so just building, we still in the last mile logistics. There's a lot of gaps. There's a lot of like challenges. There's a lot of problems that we need to find out and solve because again, moving is very key important piece. But yeah, anyway, we as a company doing all our best to help people transport get their food or they get their product as soon as possible, less than 1 hour. This actual main challenge is the gaps that we're trying to solve. But beside that, thanks again having me. So nothing else to add here.
Oh my goodness, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I mean, it's great to hear about the last mile supply chain and logistics. Too frequently, people sort of gloss over that. They don't realize how complicated and how difficult that is. So it's great to hear what you're working on. And I really appreciate you taking the time today. So thank you so much.
Likewise, Joseph. Yeah, thank you again having me. Thank you.
All right.